Previously on Get Out Alive, teams had to cross a terrifying gorge. Oh my god! In the worst conditions yet.
Stay on top of the line.
I can't do this!
Robin and Madeline tried,
My feet and hands are both numb.
but failed. While Lucky
You're bringing me home!
just failed.
Lucky, you should have at least tried.
I'm so intimidated by them.
The food team had to catch a feisty meal.
Yes!
As Austin and Jim fought to start a fire.
We have fire!
But neither made up for Wilson's miserable shelter.
The shelters were not built for rain.
In the survival test,
Hit it! First team to spring the trap wins the survival test. Carter Royce win the survival test!
sending them to the feast pit for the first time and inviting Lucky and Louie to join them.
I don't know where to start. So good.
At the elimination,
Robin and Wilson, you dodged a few bullets. Your shelters are still bad. You're weighing the group down. You'd never get out alive.
and coming up,
Stay away from the edge. It's a long way down.
the group put their lives in the obstacle team's hands and must brace themselves for the worst dessert yet.
It tastes horrible raw.
Before facing the coldest night of the season,
This could be really bad.
with only 5 teams left,
You've never needed that safety from elimination as much as right now.
I think absolutely everything everybody has to be dried out this morning. Going into this next adventure, I'm feeling a little more apprehensive because the last one we were incredibly cold and wet through the whole thing.
Okay, gather around the fire. Tell me you got dry gear.
Got dry gear.
Good. Okay, well, last night it became clear that no one here is safe. How you perform on each of these journeys is critical. Remember what I said about loved ones? You're gonna need to really start to draw on those sort of reserves now. Let's go draw knives. Okay, today we're heading for some steep, craggy terrain. A dangerous mix of rivers and gullies. It's called Storm Creek. Good description. You've got to tune in fast and learn to trust each other like never before. All right, first up, Chris and Jeff, come and draw knives. Let's see what you're in charge of. Okay, food. I've got protein, carbs, fats, loads of energy. But you're gonna have to work hard to get it. And you're gonna have to work even harder to get it back to camp. Okay, Lucky and Lou, come grab a knife. Obstacle. GPS is going to guide you to the top of the cliff. Your job is to safely lower the group down it, and then the last 2 rappel off it.
So I'm definitely feeling apprehensive. I mean, I'm not comfortable with heights to begin with. It's slightly terrifying.
Madeline and Ryan. Okay, shelter. This time you got no tarps, no roll mats, and 1 sleeping bag per team.
you gotta make the best of what you find in the wild, especially insulation.
1 layer below is worth 2 on top.
Basically, that tells us that we are gonna have a hard time building shelter.
Carl and Royce, grab a knife. Let's see what you're in charge of. Food.
We've been on the food team before with Chris and Jeff. We love them.
I don't love them, but whatever.
Jim and Austin, last knife. Fire. Okay, last time you had a bow and drill. I want to see the same method again. And if you fail, you got an emergency flint, okay? Get someone to help you. Don't be a hero.
Okay, thank you. We had already done that with the bow and the spindle, and so we thought, okay, we can do this.
Okay, who's got the money?
You got it right here.
Grab a helmet, grab a harness, you're gonna need them. Packs up, let's go.
On this journey, teams are being flown into remote canyon country. The obstacle team must find its way to the top of a rock face, down which they're gonna lure each team and themselves.
Now that there's only 5 teams, every mistake you make is magnified.
So I'm gonna go front, he'll go back until we get there.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds all right? As the obstacle team, I took the GPS in front and he took the rear.
Do it.
All right.
By the way, it's 800 kilometers.
Kilometers?
800 kilometers.
We'll be there in a couple
Or
of
800 meters. It's 800 something.
Yeah, that's right.
I need my gloves.
My hands are freezing. Just gotta get them warm so I can feel my fingers again. I absolutely hate being cold. When you're cold, you know, it's tough to stay happy. And that's something that Bear's always pushing on. Stay positive, stay positive. Oh, actually not that bad. It looks like it's gonna sink a lot.
Is that bear on the side of that mountain right there? I assume that's where we're gonna be going.
The sun's coming out. Wow. Feels good. Never again will we complain of being too hot.
Okay, well done, guys. Follow me to the edge here. Be careful where you step. Stay away from the edge. It's a long way down.
So when I saw this ginormous cliff and Bear standing on top, I was like, oh no, that's where we're going.
Okay, guys, time to drop down off these high ridges down into Storm Creek itself, which is down there right in the gully, all right? Best way to do this is gonna be straight off this cliff. Obstacle team, Lucky, Louie. Your job is gonna be to clip straight into that black line and lower people simultaneously, 2 at a time, all right? Keep the pace with this. The safety of all the teams are entirely in your hands, all right? Okay, that's my line. I'm good to go, guys. Okay, I'm off the line, guys. It's over to you.
Bear makes things look very easy. And for a lot of us, it's either the first time or very few times. So there's a little bit of terror in some of our faces.
Oh, golly, that looks like... This is gonna be a tough one.
But we're gonna do this anyway.
Okay. Oh my gosh. How do I do this?
Well,
Our job is to sit on the edge of this cliff, harness people in, and lower them down. Okay, here we go.
Lucky and Louie chose us to go first, and I was just like scared to be like, all right, I'm like trusting you that you're gonna hold on to this rope.
I'm gonna flip this in your thing as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Which way do I go?
We're gonna go right down through here
Okay.
and hang on to the rope.
I kind of in between you two?
just kind of back your feet over the edge. Keep your hands in place.
Just make sure that your feet are parallel with your hips. I got you, babe.
Having Louie like just holding me there, it's just not normal to feel like you're just going backwards, like, and there's not, there's a huge fall. It was maybe like 10 stories high.
You guys are so badass.
Do it!
You're not gonna fall, Kyle. You're not gonna fall, Kyle. Oh God.
How you doing? We lost sight of you guys, so just let us know.
Yeah.
Carl, remember, confident, courageous.
Are you okay? I was so scared. It's just a very unnatural feeling. Falling backwards, right? The drop is huge.
Just watch this cliff. Just keep a hand out to protect your face.
Go, go, go. I feel like we're gonna get yelled at for taking too long.
Down!
Hey.
Yeah, you're with Louie. Yeah. I was hoping for lucky, but I drew Louie.
He wasn't so lucky.
All you're gonna do is you're gonna lean back. You're basically gonna crawl backwards on this cliff, okay? Anytime you're ready, just straight down right there.
Okay, just take me slow and we'll be good.
You're all right, you're all right, you're all right. Ugh. You're all right, you're all right. A little to your left. There we go.
Like, I don't know what he was doing. Never once did the words fall backwards off the cliff come out of my mouth.
He's really nervous.
So he drags me off over the cliff, and the rope has now shifted so it's directly over my body, and it's just pinching me to death.
Wow, this is like the least comfortable job in the world.
Okay, just a little more slack. Please, please. Please. We obviously irritate Lucky and Louie, so I thought it doesn't take too much to say please, but I just have to teach this guy courtesy, I guess.
Give me another foot of slack,
Please.
please.
Dang courteous kid.
Thanks, guys.
You got me, Louie.
I got you, this has got you, everything's got you.
I absolutely want to redeem myself from the last journey. Barry thought I didn't give it my all, but I'm definitely going to prove him wrong here.
You give me some slack?
I cannot tell you how much I wish I had him in a different spot now. Man, I got some serious rope burn going on here.
Come on, Lucky. You gotta manage that rope better.
I have got to get my leg out of this equation.
I want to do it again. I'm on the ground.
Is Ryan down?
Ryan, down!
Who's lucky enough to come with me?
We're rock, paper, scissors out of this one.
I didn't really feel like I trusted her enough, simply because she told me about the fear that she had of heights.
I'll take you.
I decided to go with Louie. I just had 100% confidence that everything was gonna be fine.
You feeling confident?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go kind of fast.
All right, go for it.
You're gonna get on your hands and knees. I'm gonna take up your slack here. Oh, it's hurt my knees. Oh, God. This is not the comfortable part for you.
Yeah. Jeff's knee kind of gave out on him. But, you know, I'm always proud of him every time, you know, just because he pushes through it.
Should I start leaning back yet?
You're good.
Oh my gosh. Chris, down! Good job, Jeff. Let's go!
And he's down.
All right, how ready are you?
I, honey, was born ready. It was a little hard, leaving my baby up there on the cliff all alone, but she wanted to be last then.
I'm not super comfortable with heights, so it was really scary, but sometimes when things get scary, I just pretend I'm someone else, and then it makes it easier for me to just do it.
Down!
Down, Jeff!
Louie's gotta face her fears now.
I was a little nervous being the last one up there, but I just seen everyone else do it, and And by golly, if there's one thing I'm not gonna let, it's anyone else beat me, so I was gonna do it.
All right, Louis! Well done, Louis.
So now the food team is leading. Jeff and Chris, you guys comfortable with leading the pack?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Of course you are.
Kyle and Royce weren't how they usually are. It was just this weird vibe this time, and it just felt kind of odd.
Let's go!
From the obstacle, the food team must navigate downriver along steep and slippery banks to locate their food supply.
Woo-hoo. Pretty thick. Spaniards right here.
There's 4 people on this task, and Chris and Jeff took on all the glamorous jobs. That relegated Kyle and I to kind of doing the grunt work.
This direction, and then we should arrive at our food. Up there.
And once we finally reached the location where the food was, and we realized it was up the ridge line.
Kyle and I and Ryan started walking up the ridge.
All right, so it's somewhere around here. What the hell are we looking for? You see straight above Ryan, there's something in that rock.
Yeah, that's it, all right.
Hey, Ryan! It's a black thing with a red dead head. It looks like a bird or a grizzly bear.
It's either a big bird or a grizzly bear, no joke. It's one of the two.
One's this big, the other's this big.
Go up that ravine right there.
What is it?
Looks like a goat!
Yeah.
Stand both go down horizontal.
It was a mountain goat. Yay for you guys!
Once we got the goat, Ryan and Madeline took over as the shelter team to navigate us into camp.
All right, is everybody ready?
All right, ready?
Ready.
Ron, not breaking up the rear.
Ooh, this looks already...
Right, is that the way to go?
Let's just go.
Damn. My knee just popped so hard. Dude, if it's hurting you, give it to... No. That's what the whole point is. Push through it.
Hey, do you guys need to switch out? Jeff, is your knee okay? Do you need us to switch?
It's feeling okay.
Jeff allows his injury to influence his attitude.
Just let me go sideways with my feet. That makes it feel so much better.
Okay, here we go. Finally, the weary troops drag themselves into camp, but man, they're running out of light and fast. No sense of urgency.
Let's go!
They're not thinking ahead. That's going to cost them.
Coming up,
Knowing that there was no fire, I was thinking like, this could be really bad.
How many hours till daylight?
and later.
You're courageous. You're enthusiastic, but ultimately, you wouldn't get out alive.
That went wrong.
Let's go!
They're not thinking ahead. That's going to cost them.
We were very relieved because where we decided to make camp were a lot of dead trees.
Come on, Camden.
Okay, guys, gather round. You're losing light fast. It's getting cold. You notice it?
Yep.
Pick up the pace. There's no excuse tonight to be cold. You've got an abundance of fuel, masses of insulation. Only a lazy man is cold tonight, all right? Bought you some power row. It's like the row from a large limpet. Great protein, great vitamins, great minerals. You can eat it raw. It tastes horrible raw. Cook it. Pick up the pace, a lot of work to do. See you tomorrow for the survival test.
Oh yeah, that smells like it would taste horrible raw.
What I'm thinking is I'm gonna get a bunch of branches and make a big circle around that fire. The idea with the shelter was just kind of a makeshift deal for a windbreak and also for the heat to radiate back towards people while they were sleeping.
Right.
Yes,
Do you want it to go all the way around?
all the way around.
Really? The lights going though? You want to like build up one side?
Let's just do one side really good, and
Yeah.
then we'll see what we got left, light-wise. God, I'm probably gonna get sent home for this idea. Lucky, are you specifically helping anybody out?
No, I can help you.
Do you mind if we utilize Lucky?
No, that's fine.
I want to just make sure that we get the most amount of meat for everyone.
I think we can figure it out.
And I feel like Lucky would know more than Louie. Is that okay?
When we were starting to skin the goat, Kyle immediately asked Lucky to come and help us out.
Kyle and Royce rely on others a lot. They just couldn't do it on their own.
You just kind of slice between here.
Oh.
Go My dad and I set out straight away to start a fire.
I see smoke.
It was going to be a tough task, but we felt pretty confident. My hands just got so cold all of a sudden.
no, grabbing that cold goat.
Is that our dry stuff?
No, that's the bird nest.
Keep it tight. You have to keep it tight.
You lost it?
That's it. It's gone.
Looking over at the fire team, nothing was happening. And everyone was cold. So everyone's tense.
All right, Dad, this is it. We gotta make this work.
I see Amber. That's it. You got it. Keep going. Oh, it wants to do it. You're right there.
Not catching this other stuff?
You lost it?
I think we're out.
It's gone.
It was probably the coldest night that we've had, and I'm starving at this point. Our shelter was made around the fire, so we needed that to keep warm at night.
It's go time.
So you want me to help cut grass until they have a fire going?
They don't have the fire going yet?
It's smoking.
2, 3.
Knowing that there was no fire while I was cutting up the meat, I was thinking like, this could be really bad.
We're getting there.
Well, let me get this big one.
This is like epic and amazing. Whatever this is.
The amphitheater?
I love this. I'm not sure that a shelter with holes in it was going to protect us from the wind, but it looked beautiful.
Does anybody have any other suggestions about how they would like their sleeping arrangements or anything?
No.
Well, I just want to make sure, and if anybody has any suggestions, just tell me and we can make.
No, I like this.
Sorry, guys. We hope you get it soon. Need help?
No.
What either mom or yours? They're cold, but they're numb.
Okay, so, like, I know that you probably want to do that. And
Right,
I
everyone
get it.
knows basically if we start that with Flint and Steel, we're gone.
It had been over 2 hours and we still hadn't had fire, and after an hour, if I couldn't get a fire going, I would have, you know, went out and asked other people to come over and help.
I know everybody wants to get this done this way, but for the safety of the group,
Absolutely.
it's important that everybody starts to get
Dad,
warmed
you wanna
up
get
and
the
get
Flint?
some food in their belly.
Okay, Flint and Steel.
Flint and Steel, please.
Austin gets the emergency flint. He sparks the flame in a tinder that I had created.
bro. Dude, you got it. Nice.
We finally got the fire started. I'm so excited.
Getting the fire going and having meat roasting and getting my feet warm. This night is already better than I thought it was going to be.
How's it taste?
I haven't tried it yet. You try it first.
That's really good. Yeah.
That'll do.
And there's enough meat for everyone tonight. Tossed in here.
Thanks, Kat.
This night went from bad to go.
There's also a fish roe over here too for people who aren't eating.
What's it smell like?
It doesn't smell too bad. Oh, it's leaking like brown fluids. There's sand in that.
Oh!
It tastes like
sick.
It tastes like, you know when you go to the beach and it kind of smells rank sometimes? That's what it tastes like.
Ground is cold.
We can move our emergency blankets and sleeping bags in closer to the fire.
I think once you're laying on the ground, that fire's not gonna make that much difference.
I just didn't know how close everybody wanted to get to it.
No.
Freezing now.
That ground is so cold.
How many hours till daylight?
Following watercourses can be a fast way to descend the mountain. If you gotta get in the river, strip down, waterproof your gear, so then you got dry clothes to put on when you get out. And that's my survival tip of the week, brought to you by Walmart, supplier of all your outdoor needs.
Everything's frozen.
Everything is frozen hard.
We made it through the night. Did everybody sleep okay?
Oh, slept an hour.
It was slow getting up the next morning. I mean, it was a cold, long night. I think we could have probably cracked our sleeping bag in half. It was so cold and there was ice on everything and it almost felt as if it had snowed overnight.
Definitely need somebody to scrape my windshield here. You have to hang them by the fire for a while.
Looking at the map this morning, but I think we're gonna go up to this ridge line, walk across the ridge line and down. I'll be in the lead. My dad will take up the back. Any questions?
Sounds good.
Cool. Head him up, move him out.
Going into each survival test, we're mentally and physically drained.
We knew that our shelter wasn't very adequate, so we definitely wanted to win the survival test to ensure we were here for the next journey.
Time for more BG survival training. I'll say, look at you guys, you're all on a kind of level footing, which means you've never needed that safety from elimination as much as right now.
Out of all the teams, we had performed our task the worst, so it is imperative for us to win this test.
For thousands of years, fire has been critical for man. You know, to make tools, to cook with, to deter predators. But the real game changer came when man learned to transport fire. It meant they could travel and they could extend their hunting grounds. And that's what this survival test is about. On my go, you're gonna race across the 3 braids of the river, through the obstacles. Once you're the other side, you're gonna work hard and make fire. Once you've got it, you're gonna add this to it. It's called tinder fungus. Tinder fungus is a mushroom that grows on trees. It can be kept smoldering for hours when lit. Drop it in the fire, let it heat up, let it build into an ember. When you're happy with that ember, you gotta work out how to carry it, race back through the obstacles, and then relight the fire this side. The first team whose fire grows big enough to light the torches wins the survival test. You're not only safe from elimination, you get that trip to the feast pit, but in that P&G box, there's something special for you from home.
As soon as Bear mentioned that there would be a surprise from home, I was so determined to win.
We assumed it was some sort of communications from home, and it would have been real good to talk to my wife.
You ready to show me what you're made of? Hit it! This survival test is all about speed. I know you're all tired, but you've got to dig deep.
One of the things we had said before we got there is please no running, because we were beat.
So much on the line, guys. This is a time to work fast, work hard. You guys really should be good at making these fires now.
What's going on with this thing?
Khan and Royce, have fire.
You can get this thing started.
Your fire steels, this is easy. Just because you're under pressure with the time, don't let it affect the way you do it. Jim and Austin, they have fire.
All right, John.
The tinder fungus is on it. Ryan and Madeline, they have fire. Okay, Lucky and Louie, they have fire. Jim's the first on the move with firewood, heading back to the team torch. Jeff and Chris fighting to get that fire lit.
For whatever reason, we could not get the spark to light the tinder. And it's kind of ironic because I was the one that started the fire the previous night.
All right, 3 teams are on the move with a burning ember. The ember goes out, you gotta come back and start it again. Ryan and Madeline re-striking, getting that fire relit. Jim's on the other side of the first obstacle. Come on, guys. Come on.
Anybody can win except Jim and Austin because they failed at their task, and we were kind of ready to say goodbye to them.
Kyle is caught up with Jim. The others aren't far behind.
You got it, Dad, you got it!
We got a flat-out race between Kyle and Royce and Jim and Austin.
We got this, we got this.
Coming up.
Keep going, come on.
Dad, it fell through.
Come on, baby.
Need to get that trip to the feast pit, plus something special from home.
And later,
Who was cold? You had the resources to make an incredible shelter, and you didn't.
You got it, Dad, you got it!
Come on, boy!
We got this, we got this.
Carl and Royce starting to build their second fire. Jim and Austin starting to build their second fire.
Blow it.
Don't give up. Keep blowing.
Chris and Jeff, they're back in the game. Ryan back, ready to start his next fire. Jim and Austin getting some decent smoke out of this. Don't let it go out. Jim and Austin, got fire.
I got it there.
Ready to start this.
Come on. Got it there. Yeah, it fell through.
Jim and Austin.
Come on, baby, come on. Build it up.
Yes! Yeah! Jim and Austin win the survival test. The torch is flaming. Need to get that trip to the feast pit and you're safe from elimination. Plus, you get that something special from home.
I was just so happy that we'd won in the moment that we needed it.
Good job.
Good effort, Dad. We did so good. We were so close.
Okay, back to camp. See me at my camp at sundown.
I know that we all agree that they're the team that should be going home, but we all worked really effing hard, you know?
This is like challenge number 6 that we were this close.
think this was definitely the hardest survival test to lose. And to have a surprise from home just slip through your fingers like that was, it was really heartbreaking. I don't know.
My wife is always on my mind. She was diagnosed with MS. And I know friends and family are taking care of her at home. But I'd like to at least shoot her a word.
Oh, look at that, man. Burgers. Yeah, baby.
Oh, that's just chocolate chip.
Oh, man.
Oh, look at lobster,
Whoa.
salmon.
It's our third reward, and it feels really good. It's just a re-energizing experience.
Check out the box. It's a computer. Get a call home, Dad?
That would be fantastic.
Hello?
Hi.
Hey, Mom.
Hey.
How are you? The P&G box provided us with the best feel-good item they could possibly give, and that was a call home just to check in, see my mom.
You both look great. And is it harder than you thought it would be?
I mean, this whole thing has just been unbelievable.
I appreciate the help on convincing him to come out here. To see her smiling, it was just a great re-energizing moment for me. We love you and can't wait to see you. You're a big motivation and a big reassurance that we got what it takes because we know you believe in us.
You're in my prayers every day and my thoughts.
And you're in ours
Yeah,
as well.
We've got a lot of good people pulling for you and just wishing you the best.
Thanks so much, Mom. We love you. I think we gotta go right now.
All right, love you guys.
Love you too.
Me too.
To be able to call my wife was just very, re-energizing. And I always tried to do things that would make her happy and that would impress her or she's a big motivation.
That was absolutely marvelous.
While we have a minute alone, I'd like to talk to all of you. You are all the people I wanted to be in the last with. That's the way it should have gone. I couldn't be any more proud of all you guys if you were my own kids.
He doesn't.
These four teams have formed such a tight, unique bond that we'll never be able to describe to anyone, and someone's going home tonight. And in a weird way, I'm almost kind of hoping that it's us, because, at this point,
We are missing home.
As far as who should go home at Bears Camp tonight, that's kind of a difficult decision. I have no idea how it's gonna go. This is the most up in the air Bears Camp we're gonna see.
Coming up.
Who should go, do you think?
I feel like I'd rather throw myself under the bus than any of these kids.
What I'm worried about is that you're willing to throw yourself on your sword like that. Put your packs down, grab a log, guys. Wow, smaller and smaller group, tougher and tougher decisions. And one thing I need to get across to you guys, you will not win this without a streak of steel and backbone. But this is about character as well, okay? Jim and Austin, you won the survival test. So fire almost cost you,
Yes.
and then today it just saved you.
We were not looking forward to coming here.
How was the video call?
Tremendous. It boosted me emotionally and spiritually.
Let's get into the journey. Obstacle team, Lucky and Louie, all felt pretty good at the start.
It was a lot to learn and a lot to take in a short amount of time. But we just told everyone, crawl backwards over the cliff and then keep one hand on the rope, one hand on the log. Had some trouble with Jim, and I don't know if it was a communication error from me to him or what it was, but
Jim, what happened there?
I just recall her instructing me to stand on the edge, lean back, and start going down. I don't think we told anybody to grab the rope and lean back over the cliff.
like I said, it could have been my fault. I'm not 100% sure. I just remembered being really freaked out for a minute.
It's kind of hard, though, when you're on the end of the rope, if you're being lowered. You're at the mercy of the person lowering you.
Right, right.
Food team takes over. Kyle and Royce, Chris and Jeff. Kyle, what do you think when you saw the goat?
I was like another dead animal. Jeff and I skinned the goat with instruction from Lucky. I wanted to bring him in and make sure we did it right to get the maximum amount of food so we could feed everyone.
You see, I could look at you guys and say, you had the easiest task. You know, you've got a carcass that I've taken the guts out of. I don't need Lucky to tell me how to skin this properly, even if I don't know. I just need a knife and I'll rip through this thing, one slab. Dosh! You know, I have that job done in 10 minutes. Okay, shelter team, Ryan, Madeline, what was the last thing I said to you?
That it was gonna be freezing.
Said only a lazy man will be cold tonight. There is an abundance of fuel and an abundance of insulation. So tell me about the insulation, Madeline.
I got the saw out and was sawing grass, and we laid it all out.
Like what, 3 or 4 foot high, or?
No, it was just a layer of grass over all of it.
Again, when I say a layer underneath, it's worth 2 on top.
Right.
So, did you feel, Louis, this was a good shelter for you guys?
You know, I think they did well with what they had.
What do you mean, what they had? There wasn't enough materials around?
No, there was a lot of stuff. We had...
Who was cold? Everybody was cold. Did anyone stuff their shirts? If I was that cold and there was that much dry grass, I'd hardly be able to walk. I'd be so stuffed full of this thing. People keep going home because they make bad shelters. So much you could have done. Madeline, who should go home?
I don't know.
Lucky, help me here.
I am a firm believer in nature's way and the Native American spirit, where if somebody has to sacrifice because food is short, it should be the old guy, should go out and sit in the snowbank. So I feel like I'd rather throw myself under the bus than any of these kids.
Carl and Royce, who should go?
I wish that you could rescind the immunity, because I feel like the people that really failed this were Jim and Austin.
But they're safe. Royce, who do you think?
If I'm looking for a chink in the armor, I think it would be Jeff.
Why Jeff?
I think he oftentimes comes off as pessimistic, and I just think he's detrimentally headstrong sometimes, weighing what he wants and what's best for the group. He relies a lot on his physical inability as an excuse.
Jeff, talk to me.
If I can speak about Jeff, I haven't seen the negativity. I think he is going through pain, and he just keeps going.
I would go even further and say that I think he brings a happiness to the group. Jeff has helped out a lot. He's hauled double packs. That speaks volumes to who he is.
I mean, I'm not the only one that's expressed that negativity comes from him sometimes.
Who are the others?
I think Lucky mentioned it.
Lucky?
Jeff's knee has given me concern. There's been times...
How long were you in hospital, Jeff?
24 days.
Did you almost die?
I was in ICU for almost 3 days.
From where I stand, I'm seeing somebody who's been wrecked, has picked himself up. I know what that feels like. It's courage. Royce, you ever been through anything like that? I'd say be careful on your judgments. It's getting harder because all of you guys have earned my respect. But I think the lesson is that underneath every great survivor is a streak of steel. But I've also been consistent that I'm after heart and character. You have to have it. Right now, it's lacking in some of you. Ryan Madeline, you got lucky it didn't rain. You got lucky it wasn't windy. You had the strength, you had the resources, you had the manpower to make an incredible shelter. And you didn't. Lucky and Louis, thank you for being honest. But
Lucky, I need to see more growth from you. You're strong, but you need to step out of your comfort zone.
what I'm worried about
is that you're willing to throw yourself on your sword like that. Just makes me question how much you're prepared to go through.
Carl and Royce, you're both physically very strong. Royce, if I saw a man like Jeff with his injuries struggling and I had your strength, I wouldn't criticize, I would shoulder it. Tough one, you know? But I've made up my mind. The wild is always revealing. Carl and Royce, you're courageous, you're enthusiastic, both of you.
But ultimately, I want people who are gonna look after each other in the big moments.
And sadly, I just don't think you get out alive. I'm gonna hand in your knives. Sorry, guys.
That went wrong. No, it was supposed to be us. I'm so sorry. No, I wanted it. I wasn't enough. You guys.
I thought that we were the 4 strongest teams left, but one of us had to go, and we gave it our all.
I think I got more than I was seeking. The relationships that we built, the people that we met, and the time that we spent is more than, you know, any cash and prize that we could have won at the end. I'm just so extremely grateful that we got to do it.
You're great guys, and you're going to be inspiration to many people who have watched you come this far. It's an achievement. You should be proud. You're getting close to the summit of this mountain. As you near the summit, the winds always pick up. But you're getting stronger, even though you might not feel it. Tomorrow's going to be a big one. Rotors, turning and burning at dawn. You're gonna love it. Well done, guys.
Here's a look at what's happening on the next all-new Get Out Alive here on NBC. Next Monday, with only 2 episodes left.
You gotta respect this glacier.
The episode.
I can't do it.
That will give you
Watch out.
chills.
Go, go, go!
NBC's Get Out Alive is all new next Monday. But next, it's no longer a game. It's survival.
Get out of here!
The discovery.
What was that?
I don't know. That pushes the depths of their fear.
Guys, what happened here?
NBC Siberia starts right now.